Sri Guru Charitra, Chapter 16. Fruits of Devotion to the Guru. In this chapter, Guru Nath narrates to a Brahmin about the necessity of a single pointed devotion to the Guru and the merit of Guru Seva by way of illustration of the anecdote of Dhaumya Rishi and his disciples, namely Aruni, Baid, and Upamanyu. Unless the Guru is pleased, the doors of knowledge will not be opened to the student or aspirant. Guru Nath now comes to Bhilwadi, Bhuvaneshwari Kshetra on the eastern bank of river Krishna. He stays there for 4 months, Chaturmasya, 4 months of the monsoon season, under the Audambar tree on the western side of river Krishna. Siddhamuni told Namdharak that Guru Nath stayed at Vaijnath for a year, where Siddhamuni alone attended him. From Vaijnath, Sri Narsimha Saraswati, accompanied by Siddhamuni, visited Amba Bhavani Kshetra and lived there for a few days. Siddhamuni now continued his narrative. At this place, a Brahmin yogi came to Sri Narsimha Saraswati and prayed to him for guidance and help in his sadhana. He said that his mind was very restless and he was unsuccessful to concentrate. He said that he had one guru earlier who initiated him to a mantra, but it did not seem to help him at all. He said he had left off that guru as he had no respect nor liking for him any longer, and that he was now seeking out another guru. He requested Sri Narsimha Saraswati to accept him as his disciple. Sri Narsimha Saraswati told him that it is never proper to talk disrespectfully of one's guru, and that he had committed a very great mistake in forsaking his guru. He said that it is not for the student to judge the merits or demerits of the guru. One should have implicit faith in the guru. Guru is a treasure house and abode of all knowledge and wisdom. Guru is even superior to God. The student must ungrudgingly, selflessly, dedicatedly and lovingly serve the Guru. Whatever be the hardships of service, there is nothing comparable to the service rendered to the Guru. Only if the Guru is pleased will the gods be pleased. If the Guru is not pleased, all the gods even cannot help him a wee bit. Guru Bhakti and Guru Seva form the foundation of spiritual sadhana, and the winning of Guru's grace alone is the fruition of all sadhana. Sri Narsimha Saraswati narrated the stories of Dhaumya Rishi's disciples as example and illustration of this truth. Dhaumya Rishi had 3 disciples. One was Aruni Panchal, the second was Baid, and the third was Upamanyu. Aruni was asked by the Guru to water his field so that the cereal crop would grow well. The water had to be brought into the field through a canal from a tank which was little far away. The tank was shallow. Aruni dug the canal deep and put up the bunds of the canal, and water started flowing into the field. Then, unfortunately, a breach developed in one of the bunds of the canal, and the water started draining out and escaping through the breach, thus stopping the flow of the water into the field. Aruni tried his best to fill up the breach by piling up stones, putting stand, etc. over there, but could not succeed. The water was going waste, and he was worried as to how to get the wheat field filled with water. Then he got an idea. He lay down at the site of the breach, thus blocking it. The water thereby started flowing into the field. He remained there in the same position so that the field would get the water fully. It was quite late in the night, and as the boy did not return home, the Guru was worried as to what could have happened to him, and he came to the field searching for him. He was surprised and felt glad to find the field full with water, which was never the case any time ever before, but at the same time, he was worried as Aruni was nowhere in sight. He called out loudly, "Aruni, Aruni!" From the waters of the canal, Aruni replied in a feeble voice, "Gurudev, I am here." The Guru reached to him and pulled him out. Aruni fell prostrate at the Guru's feet and offered his obeisance to him. The Guru was touched by the boy's unselfish devotion to him, and placing his hand on the boy's head, blessed him, saying, "May you become proficient and gain mastery in all the Vedas and Shastras." No sooner than the Guru said this, Aruni became fully enlightened, and all knowledge dawned on him in a flash. Such will be the result of Guru Seva, said Sri Narsimha Saraswati to the Brahmin. Sri Narsimha Saraswati continued further with his narration. Now listen to the Guru Seva of Baid. Baid was asked by the Guru to till the land, sow the seeds, raise the crop, and to take care till harvesting was completed and the grains were safely brought home. Baid was working on the field day in and day out without wasting a single moment and sparing no pains. Due to all the labor exerted and pains taken by him, the crop came out very well and yielded a very rich harvest. Bed loaded the grains on the cart and started to drive the cart to the Guru's house. The load was too heavy and the bullock was unable to draw the cart. Bed also was trying to pull the cart along with the bullock. Unfortunately, the bullock got stuck up in the mire on the way and the cart wheels also sank deep down into the mud. The bullock was not able to pull out the cart. Baid was struggling with all his strength to push the cart wheels and make the cart move. In the process, he almost lost his breath and was about to collapse. Dhaumya Rishi was coming himself to see how Baid was faring with the collection of the harvest. On the way itself, he saw the heavily loaded cart and Baid. But alas, he found Baid tottering on his feet and collapsing almost on the verge of death. The Guru was very much moved with the selfless and steadfast devotion of Baid. He pulled Baid out of the mire and placed his right hand on his head, which immediately revived him. Not only that, Baid received total illumination and enlightenment, and all knowledge dawned on him with the blessing touch of the Guru. Sri Narasimha Saraswati then gave the account of Upamanyu's Guru Seva and Bhakti. Upamanyu was also a very devoted disciple, but he had the habit of overeating. The Guru wanted to curb this habit of his overindulgence with food. The Guru gave Upamanyu the task of looking after his herd of cattle. Upamanyu used to leave home very early in the morning along with the herd after eating the little food the Guru gave him. The grazing grounds were very far away and he used to return along with the herd only late in the evening. In the afternoons, he used to beg alms from the houses which were nearby and had his afternoon food. The Guru, finding the boy still fat, asked him what he was eating in the afternoons. The boy told the Guru that he was begging bhiksha from the houses near the grazing grounds and was eating whatever food he obtained thus. The Guru said he should not eat the food he got as bhiksha but should bring it and give it to him and eat only whatever he, the Guru, gave him. Upamanyu started doing as the Guru said, but as he was feeling very hungry in the afternoons, he started drinking the remnants of the milk that continued to drip from the cow's udders after the calves had drunk their fill. The Guru prohibited that even. Upamanyu became very much emaciated for the lack of food. Unable to bear the hunger, one day, seeing some milk exude from some wild leaves, he drank that milk. That exudation was poisonous and it affected his eye nerves and made him blind. In the evening, trying to drive the cattle home and being unable to find the way due to his lost sight, he fell into a well. As he did not reach home, the Guru came searching for him. Dhaumya Muni saw his disciple fallen in the well. He pulled him out and, moved much by the boy's truthful and implicit obedience to the word of the Guru, touched his eyes with his hand, chanting the invocation mantra to the Ashwini Devatas. Upamanyu instantly regained his sight. Not only that, the Guru, through his blessings, endowed him with all the scriptural knowledge and wisdom. Upamanyu became a most renowned rishi. It was his shishya by name Udanka who presided over the great serpent sacrifice of Janamejaya, which brought even Indra down from heaven along with his throne towards the sacrificial fire. It is also said that Udanka, soon after completing his discipleship, obtained from Adishesha in Patala the latter's ear kundalas and brought and offered them as Guru Dakshina to his Guru Upamanyu. Sri Narasimha Saraswati, by these examples, taught the Brahmin the supreme importance and necessity of Guru Seva for acquiring spiritual knowledge and wisdom. The Brahmin now realized his great error in not discharging his duty to his Guru and in speaking ill of him. He felt very sad and felt he should atone for it by ending his life. Sri Narasimha Saraswati was touched by the sincere repentance of the Brahmin and told him, "Your repentance has absolved you of all your sin." He then placed his hand on the Brahmin's head. Lo, the Brahmin got enlightened with all knowledge and wisdom. Sri Narasimha Saraswati told the Brahmin that he should go immediately to his Guru, fall at his feet and pray for his forgiveness. He said that it is only then that the enlightenment he got now, by his grace, would become secure and lasting. Sri Narasimha Saraswati then left the Amba Bhavani Kshetra and went to Bhilavadi, where there is the ancient temple of Sri Bhuvaneshwari Devi. There, on the western bank of river Krishna, under the banyan tree, Sri Narasimha Saraswati made his abode and stayed there for 4 months. Thus ends the 16th chapter of Sri Guru Charitra, describing Guru Bhakti Prabhav. Glory to the all-merciful, the omnipresent, and the ever-responsive Gurunath.